Sukhe Sukhi Sada Bhakti Para Dukha Sukha He Krishna Guru Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tatthigantana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwanam Sute Devi Vancha Kalpa Sadukasya Kripa Sindhu Vedata Gita Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. It's good for all the devotees. Today is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day. And the song we sang, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur is playing Amala Acharyas show their dependence on Krishna. So they don't have faults, but they see faults in themselves to find dependence in Krishna. And we give example like a white dhoti. If a dhoti is black, you don't see it's black. When your dhoti becomes white, you see the blackest part of the dhoti. So the same, because the heart is completely pure, even they may remember something 20 years back, and then the lamp so low, and they seek Sharanagati of the Supreme Lord. Because it's through this mode of humility one can approach Krishna. There. So start with today's verse. Today's verse is one of the very important verse of Bhagavatam. And it's 1.2.6. In fact, it is the underlying theme of the whole Bhagavatam. One of the underlying theme of Bhagavatam is Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. But the underlying theme of Bhakti is this verse 1.2.6. And to understand further Bhagavatam, one should understand this verse. And that's why this verse is very, very important what we are reading. My voice is clear online?
Yes, right.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Lakshane Hetu Giya Pratihata Yaya Suprasidati
Savai pumsam paro dharmo to bhakti radokshade ahayukiya pratihata atma prasidati savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radokshade ahayukiya pratihata
So how many remember this verse? This verse is must memorize the Bhagavatam because this underlying theme of Srimad Bhagavatam of unalloyed and uninterrupted devotional service. Maybe I'll explain the verse is really easy to remember. Sa vai pumsa parodharma. So what is the parodharma for all the pumsa, for all the human beings, is yato bhaktir adakshati, by which you do bhakti to Lord Adakshas. Who's Adakshas? Who's beyond the material senses. Then, ahetukiya pratihata. And how that bhakti should be? It should be ahetuki, without any motivations. Apratihata, it should never be interrupted. Iya asastu prasidati. Such devotional service will satisfy the heart. The beautiful definition of parodharma. Parodharma. So parodharma is bhakti yoga. None of the other dharmas is parodharma. Only parodharma is bhakti yoga. And the question asked by sages is in the first chapter, if you remember, 6 questions sages asked. And one of the question is, what is the essence of all the scriptures? And this is the essence of all the scriptures. Which kind of bhakti? Parodharma, which is ahetuki apratihata, which is unmotivated, unalloyed, and such devotional service. A pure devotional service, ya yatmasu prasidati. It completely satisfies the self. And that is why, if actually you want to do the purport of chant and be happy, this verse is a purport. When Srila Prabhupada says chant and be happy, means what? This verse, ya atmasu prasidati. There. And the supreme occupation for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service under the transit of God. Such devotional service must be unmotivated, uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. And the purport by His very grace will be read in parts because. So in this statement, Srila Goswami answers the first question of the Sita Nameshwarya. The sages asked him to summarize the whole range of revealed scriptures and present the most essential part so that fallen people, the people in general, might easily take it up. The Vedas prescribe 2 different types of occupation for the human being. One is called the pravati mark, the path of sense enjoyment. The other is called navritti mark, the path of renunciation. The path of enjoyment is freedom, the path of sacrifice or supreme cause is superior. And Prabhupada said, the mental exists in the pravati mark. Prabhupada gives a definition. So in Prabhupada's purport, I have put all questions and things so that the purport becomes very easy to see in the notes there. So the mental existence of a living entity is a diseased condition of actual life. Actual life is spiritual existence of Brahmabhuta, where life is eternal, blissful and full of knowledge. Mental existence is temporary, illusory and full of miseries. There is no happiness at all. There is just a futile attempt to get rid of the miseries, and temporary cessation of misery is falsely called happiness. Therefore, the path of progressive mental enjoyment, which is temporary, miserable, and elusive. I think devotees can come ahead, you'll be able to see the screen. You're able to see the screen. Miserable, elusive, and inferior. Please want to eternal, blissful, and all found in life is called superior quality of occupation. And then Prabhupada is talking about what is mixed bhakti and what is Shuddha bhakti. The first Prabhupada talk about the pravati mark, the path of material enjoyment. And now Prabhupada talk about Shuddha bhakti and Mishrit bhakti. There is sometimes quality when mixed with the inferior quality. For example, adoption of devotional service for material gain is certainly an obstruction to the progressive path of renunciation. Renunciation or application of ultimate good is certainly a better occupation than enjoyment in the disease conditioned life. Such enjoyment only aggravates symptoms of disease and increases duration. Therefore, devotional service of the Lord must be pure in quality, without the least desire for material enjoyment. One should therefore accept the superior quality of occupation, a form of the devotions of God, without twinge of unnecessary desire, fruitive action, and farcical speculation. This alone can lead one to perpetual solace in his service. So, what Prabhupada means here, when people take to Bhakti and Pravati Marg, they end up praying to Krishna for material enjoyment. And they do not feel the happiness what pure devotees feel. Now, question comes, what is Shuddha Bhakti? Now, Parodharma is Bhakti Yoga. Because only Bhakti is Parodharma. Now, which kind of Bhakti is Shuddha Bhakti? And how we should know the Bhakti which we are performing is Shuddha Bhakti or not? And therefore, it's a very, very important question of today's verse, which underlines the definition of Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam is about pure devotional service. And Bhagavatam rejects all other scriptures. Kimva pare Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kimva pare Ishvara Sadvehate Kuttave Shishthavi Shatshana. Then what is the use of all other scriptures in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Because it is given Shuddha Bhakti. The other Puranas talk about even worship of the Devatas or worship of the Supreme Lord for material benefit, like Satyanarayana Puja, like other pujas. For material benefits, other Puranas talk about. But Srimad Bhagavatam is the Amalam Purana because it talks about Shuddha Bhakti. And the first condition of Shuddha Bhakti is Ahetu, which doesn't have any Hetu. Now, if you see, how is Bhakti obtained? Vishnu Thakur gives analysis. How is Bhakti obtained? Bhakti is causeless. But when I say Bhakti is obtained from the Madhyam Adhikari, even Uttam Adhikari doesn't give Bhakti. Because he sees everybody better than us, better than himself, then how will he give Bhakti? A Kanish Adhikari, more busy in dating worship, he can't give Bhakti. He doesn't feel compassion for others. Only is the Madhyam Adhikari which gives Bhakti. Now, question may come, if Bhakti is Ahetuki, then how are devotees responsible for giving Bhakti? Then it should not be Bhakti. But Vishnu Thakur says, because Bhakti, the association of devotees is the Anga of Bhakti. So it's Bhakti only which gives Bhakti. Or it's Bhakti, the heart of the Vaishnava, which compels him to give Bhakti to others. There. And that makes the person devotee. There. So therefore, Bhakti is Ahetuki. Now, in third canto, Kapila Dev mentions 3 types of Bhakti. Bhakti in mode of ignorance, devotion service in mode of passion, devotion service in mode of goodness, and devotion service in mode of pure goodness. Now, if you see devotion service in the 3 modes, the ignorance, passion, and goodness is also Hetu. Why? For a person in mode of goodness, the sattvic bhakti, the motivation is purification of heart. For a person in Rajoguni, the motivation for bhakti is some name and fame. If I do the service, so many devotees will appreciate. Or I did the service, devotees did not appreciate it. What is the use of my so hard work? So that is bhakti in Rajoguni, and it has a motivation, Rajoguni. And bhakti in ignorance, people will be keep finding fault with others. The motivation is to put down others, become angry upon others. But bhakti in Shuddha Sattva doesn't have motivation. So as soon as a devotee does hear the glories of the Lord and sing the Kirtan of the Lord, his mind completely gets absorbed in Krishna, get carried away by Krishna. And that is the Shuddha Bhakti. There. So bhakti, which is ahetuki, is also pratihita. Many times devotees come for a few years and they stop coming to devotional service. Why? Because the bhakti was ahetuki. Ahetuki bhakti can never be stopped by any condition like Prahlad. None of the things of this world could stop Prahlad Maharaj because his bhakti was ahetuki. If our bhakti is ahetuki, it will get stopped in some out of the situations of life. Because person will think, oh, Krishna did not did this in my life. That's why many Krishna se katti ho. One devotee came. 3 years he practiced bhakti, and 4th year he again went back to bad habits. Now he thinks because of Krishna I went to bad habits, I want to. So when we have a hetu with bhakti, bhakti becomes pratihata. Only when bhakti is ahetuki, it becomes apratihita and yatma suprasiddhati. And that is why doing bhakti is also not. Now, yes, initially we do bhakti, the chant Hare Krishna there, but we don't know whether bhakti is Mishrit or Shuddha. And only by culture of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mishrit Bhakti becomes Shuddha Bhakti. And that's why most devotees avoid hearing Srimad Bhagavatam because it's a painful process. But the whole purpose of this center is devotees come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and so many devotees have taken because on a holy day it looks nice to sleep late night, late morning, get up 8 o'clock. It looks so nice, but to give up the sleep and come to attend morning program with devotees and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that is something very special. So you have come today, all the devotees at Himman, because it's through hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam and applying that message by the association of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhaktas that our bhakti becomes Shuddha. Now, what is the definition of bhakti is the Sukitva, Sukitva. The Shuddha bhakti means the Sukitva, Sukitva. A devotee feels pleasure in giving pleasure to Krishna. And that kind of bhakti satisfies the heart. When a devotee has no other desire than to please Krishna. So initially when we come to bhakti, there's a kind of a thrill. Oh, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. Because initially we incidentally please Krishna. Like even you chant one Lord, devotees say, oh, very nice, you chanted one Lord. Every day you're chanting one Lord, and we feel so happy. But why we felt happy? Because Krishna was pleased. Devotees are pleased because they chanted one Lord. And that's why Krishna so much mercy came and you feel exciting in chanting one Lord. Then you come to 4th round, devotees feel very happy. Oh, you're chanting 4th round. Then you come to 8th round. Then you come to 16th round. And you get applause from the devotees there. And somehow, incidentally, Krishna is happy. So we are not doing it for pleasing Krishna, but Krishna is happy somehow or other and they feel happy. But after chanting 2-3 years of 16 rounds, we continue that way. And we don't make any effort, conscious effort to please Krishna, and we don't feel that the taste also coming in bhakti. How many of you observe this phenomenon? Right, because bhakti means to consciously put effort to please Krishna. And when we just do bhakti without any conscious effort to please Krishna, it may not be ahetuki. Ahetuki bhakti means we're just doing it for pleasure of Krishna. Many hetus will surround the bhakti there. So initially, even the hetus were there because incidentally we were pleasing Krishna and we have no Vaishnava Prabhu, so we were feeling excited in the spiritual life. But as a time progresses, just doing the course of devotional service is not sufficient. One has to put the right consciousness and remove the ulterior motives from bhakti. And then one will find the great happiness of bhakti yoga. One will find the great happiness of bhakti yoga because a person has developed the right motives. And then bhakti will look ecstatic. there. When we reach to that platform where bhakti is hetuki, ahetuki, is this sadhu sadhu pade pade. Every moment you can enjoy the devotional service. And you feel like very light. You feel like, you know, that bhakti is so nice. When it becomes ahetuki, and that's what the whole training is about, rising from Mishra Bhakti to Shuddha Bhakti, to become ahetuki. And that's the whole purpose. Krishna gives so many obstacles in life. When you're performing bhakti, sometimes why Krishna is giving obstacles? Krishna should give obstacles. Krishna is only giving obstacles to remove the hetus in our spiritual life. Sometimes there will be some Utumeme devotees. Right? Why? Because we have false ego. And to remove that false ego, because to that degree there is an ahankar, it cannot be ahetuki. When we are performing devotional service, our ahankar gets so much mixed with bhakti, we can't identify whether we are doing bhakti for our ahankar or pleasing Krishna. And what is the sign? When devotees will insult us in due course of doing our seva, we'll have some opinion mismatch between devotees. Devotees insult us. We feel, oh, I don't know what to do this. This will come. So because Krishna is exposing us that you are actually doing bhakti to our false ego that to have. So initially to take our services, that false ego factor may be required. Because unless there's a false ego, okay, I will do it, we may not take things seriously. So even initially, we may do from the platform false ego, still devotees will appreciate us. Encourage us, chalo karo, kuch to kar rahe. That is some way or other you're getting engaged in bhakti. But when Krishna put purification pots in between, where our motivations will get purified there. And that's how we rise to the level of Shuddha Bhakti while doing devotional service in the association of devotees. Because while doing devotional service, see, there are gross motivations and there are subtle motivations. The gross motivation very easy to see. Om Jai Jagadish Hare Dhan Sampati Ghar Aare Kashta Mite Tanka. So we as devotees will laugh and we will be a little careful that we don't do this. But to catch the subtle motivations, they are very difficult. And that becomes a kata in our bhakti to Krishna. It's like the thorns of false ego mixed in sweet rice. So our offering to Krishna is like thorns of false ego mixed with the sweet rice and offered to Krishna. That's why our offering of bhakti to Krishna is in an unpurified state. And that's why Krishna doesn't feel so happy and we don't feel so ecstatic. We don't feel yatma so prasidati. But when by the association of devotees, the thorns of false ego is purified, then bhakti becomes very sweet. And therefore, how our right attitude in Bhakta Sangha is very important. Many times we get some correction, chastisement from a senior devotee or from a equal devotee is very painful. It's not taken. Because that's where the thorns of false ego gets purified. And what is the example? Even Rup Goswami chastised Jiva Goswami. Rup Goswami chastised Jiva Goswami. Yesterday was Jiva Goswami appearance day was. So what had happened, this Vallabhacharya, Rupa Goswami wrote a thing and Vallabhacharya found a fault with it. Now Jiva Goswami, the disciple of Rupa Goswami, he defeated Vallabhacharya. No, it's not like this, it's like this. While Vallabhacharya was editing the book. And Vallabhacharya came, hey, you are a disciple, Jiva Goswami said, Pandit, why you need me? Rupa Goswami became angry with Jiva Goswami. You don't know how to behave with Vallabhacharya. He is a senior and you show pride of scholarship in Vrindavan, go out of Vrindavan. And Jiva Goswami took it as a mercy. The motivation of Jiva Goswami was to please Rupa Goswami. But Rupa Goswami was setting an example. Somebody has to come and live in Vrindavan. They should be completely free from false pride. So it is this motivations of false ego, pride, that actually purified, then only bhakti looks very pleasing to Krishna. And we feel Yatmasu Pasidati. And that's why great acharyas are singing like generally, as people progress on the spiritual path, they develop the pride of self-righteousness. What is the pride of self-righteousness? Oh, मैं तो बहुत अच्छा हूँ, मैं तो कुछ गड़बड़ नहीं कर. That's also the pride. And then, so acharyas, you will see, because they're so careful in removing the subtle anarthas in their heart, and therefore they are getting the nectar of bhakti. So if we want to relish the nectar of bhakti, we have to remove those tendencies of false ego from our spiritual life. And to understand is not easy, because this false ego is so complicated for so many lifetimes. Even we pretend to be humble, but actually it's a false ego that Prabhu, I'm such a humble devotee. So one dude said, Prabhu, I'm proud of my humility. I'm feeling proud because I can speak so humbly to devotees. So false ego is so complicated, and that's why only when one surrenders to Guru and ready to take on chastisements, corrections from the spiritual master or the Siksha Gurus, the senior mentors, then this false ego will start getting purified. And Kali Yuga, this is the most problem. In Vedic time, people were raised, beaten by their teacher. So they have a natural respect for the teacher. Even teacher scolds me, beat me, I won't find fault with the teacher. Now, Kali Yuga is because there is a lot of restrictions nowadays. You can't beat a child. Teachers are the most restricted people. Because whatever children do, they can't beat them up. Right? And same tendency is coming Krishna consciousness. Because if you correct the people, they will go away. The moment, till the time you don't correct people, they will do bhakti. The moment you correct them, next day they won't be seen in classes. And that's why good preaching means you should learn to be very sensitive in today's age. But the problem is the false ego doesn't get purified. There. And that's why to taste this bhakti, one should be ready to purify false ego. And what does it mean to purify false ego? While doing services, many challenges will come. While doing services, many challenges will come. And how do we deal with these challenges in a humble way and go ahead doing our service? This false ego will get purified. And that is why the challenges in the service is the medium by which we actually come to pure devotional service. And to the degree we absorb in Srimad Bhagavatam by doing Srimad in such a way, that absorption in Bhagavatam also will bring pure bhakti. See, if somebody reads only Bhagavatam and doesn't do Seva, one develops the pride of knowing so much Bhagavatam also. And that's why the weeds come in. But when Bhagavatam is said under the Vaishnava, you will also engage in some meanings. Pure mein padho mat, thoda seva bhi karo. And that's how false is. When we come say, love. And that's why the Shuddha Bhakti is such a important thing. Because, and another way to develop this Shuddha Bhakti, having association of Shuddha Bhaktas, called loving devotional service. Tesham satata yottanam bhajata priti. Priti for Krishna means whatever devotional service we do, ask a question. Am I doing it to please Krishna or not? Am I doing it for pleasing Krishna or None. And let's see the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. How many difficulties in his life he went through, though we may not see that any spiritual master instructing Bhaktivinoda Thakur he should do not do this. But his whole life is a pure devotional service. And that's what the acharyas come and show. And especially Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying how to perform pure devotional service in Grihastha life. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur showed how to perform pure devotional service in Brahmachari and Sannyas. Right? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is showing how to perform pure devotional service in Grihastha life, as example. Now his Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Kamal Manjari. Kamal Manjari. In the spiritual world, an assistant of Ananga Manjari, who is the sister of Radharani, and also assistant of Rupa Manjari, Shri Rupa Goswami. Now just think, Mahaprabhu's movement, even Mahaprabhu's birthplace was not known. After Mahaprabhu left, the Ganges have changed the course. So even people don't know where is the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. They thought something which is in Nadia today as the birthplace of Mahaprabhu. But after when the Bhaktivinoda Thakur came after 200 years, again Mother Ganges changed the course and Mahaprabhu's birthplace was visible. But nobody knew this is the birthplace. Also, what had happened to the Muslim invasion after 1650, the time of Aurangzeb and his followers, because of that Vaishnavas, most of the genuine Vaishnavas were living in the forest. Because there was so much massacre, so much killing by this Muslims. And only upper Sampradaya Vaishnavas were out to earn money and give it back to people to Gaudiya Vaishnavas. In that situation, and everybody forgot the mission of Mahaprabhu, Pritite Ajite Rangadika. At that situation, if Bhaktivinoda Thakur would not have been there, we would not have one discussion consciousness there. And that's why such days of Acharya, we do fasting, paying our gratitude to them, hearing about them, singing their Vaishnava songs, praying for their mercy, that how much they have contributed to our spiritual lives. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, though he is a Nitya Siddha, but how did Krishna arrange it? He learned English, he studied in English school. His uncle Kali Prasad was English teacher, big English teacher. And he did his schooling and he learned. And he is born in 1838, almost 200 years before. Right? 200 minus 13 years before, 187 years before. And he was just 11 years, his father passed away. And somehow his education happened. Then he became a school teacher and a headmaster. Then he became a deputy magistrate, district collector. And he didn't want it to do other jobs. He became a teacher because he saw a lot of corruption in business. He didn't want to tell lies and then he became different. And he, for years together, he did not want to office. And he was initially has read Brahmo's religion, but he was in person's religion. So when he appreciated Christianity more than the impersonal, at least something personal about God was there. And when he got Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the, and when he got Chaitanya Charitamrita, after looking for a few years, he said, there could not be no more sublime philosophy than this. And that's why reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, he took at that verse, Pratite Ajite, reading Chaitanya Bhagavad, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he took the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu into his hands very, very seriously. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has predicted a worldwide movement there. So because now Mahaprabhu has appeared 300 years before he has left, 1534 Mahaprabhu is left, and after 300 years, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is born, 1838. So 300 years have passed, and now there is no sign of the movement where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu established. There are Gaudiya Vaishnavas, there are devotees, but nobody has a mission that this should go all over the world. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur established the first printing press there. And what is all this movement? How to praise Mahaprabhu? By spreading his mission there. So there's a missionary vision that we have. So for preaching is also Shuddha Bhakti. Our whole goal of preaching is how to reach out this Krishna consciousness to others. And this was the whole mood of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He went so many troubles to expose the wrong people. There was one Bishop Singh in Puri, and there was a song, Treta mein Ram, Dwapar mein Krishna, और अभी महाविष्णु के अवतार Bishop Singh. So he was, and he had no restrictions these, and he would do Ras Leela or Raskal Leela. Many girls were coming and he's saying, I'm avatar and I will do all this thing. And nobody was able to do anything. There's a lot of local Hindu support. Lot of local Hindu support. Nobody was able to do anything. And but Bhaktivinoda Thakur took it in the field. And he called, please come to Jagannath. Take darshan of Jagannath. Say, what do? I'm Jagannath. I have appeared. You should come to see me. I should not come to see Jagannath. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur got angry and he arrested. And the trial went for many days. And he was caught by 40 Muslims, and many constables, this bishop said. And he was creating havoc. One of the daughters of Bhaktivinoda Thakur was near to death, so sick. In the last day of court hearing, he got a heart attack there. And his wife was saying, "Arey, chhod do Baba, hamara pura parivar kharab ho jayega." I said, "Let us all die, but we will not do this." So at this time also, he was just thinking what can please the Lord. He was not concerned about anything. He was concerned only about pleasing the Lord. A completely liberated soul. He has 10 children and a district magistrate. With that, he was performing his devotional service. And while doing the family duties, he was maintaining his family. He was taking care of his wife. And with that, he was taking the mission of Mahaprabhu and always in a consciousness what will please Krishna. He was so expert. What other judges will take, he also was a district magistrate and a judge. So what other judges will take 5-6 hearings to do, in same time he was on 3 cases, many cases. So he was in so much demand, Britishers made a separate railway line from his home to the court. And even you go to the Krishnanagar, now they have made a broad gauge till Amghat. Previously there was a narrow gauge from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house till Amghat there. But now they are remove that line and they're making a meat broad gauge there. It's going to come soon there. So that there will be line from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's house to Krishnanagar there. And there's a separate railway line. And they put a separate bogie for him. Still, he was so humble. One day, because the train was coming from little behind, all people occupied the seat. And he sat from his home. And he didn't got a seat, he sat on the ground. And people said, "Arey Baba, iske liye train chalu karai." But he was so humble, he did not told people, "Arey, get up, arey, you don't know who am I." So such a quality Bhaktivinoda Thakur is having, and always the mood is there. So this bishop is seeing the heart attack. So then one of the person, somehow they cut his hairs at that time. So one of the friends of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the British court said, all the strength of the yogis is in their hairs. So they cut the hair. And after the bishop says hairs were cut, he fell down. No strength in his body. He had to take on stretcher in the hospital. And then he took poison and committed suicide. So Mahavishnu ke avatar ne Atmatya kar liya. He was very strong. In fact, when he was in Puri, he was made the in charge of the Puri temple. And that time, the king there ushered 80,000 rupees of the government money, of the temple money. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave him a punishment. You have to serve all the 56 offerings of Jagannath. And slowly all his money started. See, those days, 1900, for 1900, what is the cost of 80,000 rupees? Paying money. Probably it's more than 80 lakh of a day. And he told king to, you should make all 56 offerings together. And king was making 56. तो सारा पैसा चला गया. So king became so envious, he employed some 52 brahmanas to do offering to kill Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And last day, 30th day, when the offering was put to kill Bhaktivinoda Thakur, king's son died. And nothing happened to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There. So such a life he lived there. So he always had such a faith in Krishna. When he went to Bishop Sen, so one time there was a tree. There was a tree in there. Anybody who this tree was surrounded by a host. This tree was such that anybody who will pray to that tree, the judgment will come in his way. Bhaktivinoda Thakur put a pandit. Father Brahma Bhai was a great scholar. The pandit read Bhagavatam for 1 month and the tree collapsed. So he didn't take any other shelter than Srimad Bhagavatam. So how a devotee should find shelter in Krishna only and not any other thing. There. So some more things that show from the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah, complete purpose proper. So we have purposely denoted dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word dharma is that we sustain one's a living being sustains the existence to coordinate his activities with an eternal relation with the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Krishna is the central part of living beings. And is all living being or eternal form of all being eternal form. Each and every living being has an eternal form of existence, and Krishna is an attraction for all of them. Krishna complete whole and everything else is part and parcel. The relationship is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental, is completely distinct from our experience and existence. This relation of service serves the most convenient form of intimacy. One can realize it as devotional service progresses. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental service of Lord, even in the present continuous state of existence. That will gradually give one to the actual life and place him to complete satisfaction. So when we perform origin serve Krishna, and that is why I should serve Krishna. There. Not that okay, I want something from Krishna, I want to show this, or I want to show I'm a great devotee, I want to show I can do this. Just that's when that's with it. And what happens? As a devotee's bhakti progresses. See, Krishna, Yukta Vairagya means Krishna Sampatti. One time, Bhakti Prachar Maharaj was telling that he was a CA by profession before, and after coming to Krishna consciousness, also he was giving accounts. And he went to his spiritual masters and they were like, "Sorry, Maharaj, यहाँ आने के मैं उससे छूट के आया हूँ, यहाँ आने के बाद ये कौन सेवा की है?" And Maharaj said, "You will not be happy in Krishna consciousness unless you see the connection with Krishna. If you see the connection of things with Krishna, you will be happy." And that is the art of Shuddha Bhakti. That's what Bhadra Thakur is showing. He was seeing the connection of his spiritual life even with Krishna, with his office work. Like he was going to retire and go to Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu came in his dream. "You have one more seva left, don't retire. Who will find my birthplace?" And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur continued there. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because what has happened, the birthplace of Mahaprabhu was completely under the Ganges after Mahaprabhu disappeared. And now it has come back, but nobody knew. So he took the old, because he was a magistrate, he had a lot of powers. He took all the old maps and find out there was actual birthplace sign. And he found according to the maps. Then he went to meet the landowner. The Muslim owner said, "Yeah, kuch bhi ugao, tulsi ug jati." And then he took Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj in a basket. Jagannath Babaji Maharaj came with his servant on a basket. He was more than 100, 125 years old. 110, 120 years old. And when he came to that place, he was not able to lift his eyes also. The moment he came, he said, "Hey, to Nimai Janmastan." And he jumped out of the basket. Jai Sachinandan. So he found. And then as a magistrate, he collected 1 rupee from every house. He would have got big donation. Every house he went, collected. So any temple you make, always make collection from everybody. And little there. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wanted everybody in Nadia to feel that this temple of Mahaprabhu is there. He collected money from everyone, even it is 1 rupees there. And that time 1 rupee also has a great value there. So, and how much Bhaktivinoda Thakur did. So when a devotee should have a focus that whatever I do in my life is to please Krishna. You should ask, whether what am I doing? Even taking care of family could be pleasing to Krishna or not. For example, Vasudeva was a very detached personality. He won't never take care of funds. Mahaprabhu told Shivanand Sena to take care of his funds. No, otherwise he will not be able to run his family. So that means for him, taking care of his family was a concern for Mahaprabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. Like Shivanand Sen will take care of his family, but he was spared for the yatra of all the Vaishnavas. He'll arrange the yatra from Mayapur to Purita. So a devotee should see everything as an opportunity to please Krishna. Okay. And that should be guided by Guru. It should not be whimsical. Prabhupada said, what is Shuddha Bhakti? When devotional service is done under the guidance of Guru, under the guidance of the Master, in order to please Krishna, is called pure devotional service. And therefore, and that way we know it is pleasing to Krishna or not. And while doing devotional service, one should do it in a consciousness that I'm doing it for praise Krishna. There. So what is the difference between what is asking? That every moment, every thought is imbued with that desire that I will please Krishna. Even the ladies in Vrindavan, when Krishna's birthday is there, they dress with a lot of jewelry and cake. Now you said wearing jewelry and all things is like Maya. You know, no. They were dressed so nicely that Krishna's occasion is there. We should look nicely for pleasure of child Krishna. So their only thought is it will please Krishna. So in Vrindavan, to go to Golok Vrindavan, the only thought is required for a person is whatever I do should be pleasing to Krishna. Then one can come back to Golok Vrindavan. The tuning is there. So there, see, while Radharani, her every breath, her every move, it just imbued with that desire that it will please Krishna. If she dresses her nicely, she thinks it will please Krishna. There. And all the Gopas in Vrindavan, even they will steal each other's lunch bag to just give pleasure to Krishna. Then Krishna will have some fun by our stealing pastime. They will do different kind, they will imitate Tika to give pleasure to Krishna. So only when we develop this kind of bhakti, we can enter into Krishna's spiritual world. Because everybody is endued well to do everything pleasing to Krishna. And that's what the whole training is there. While living with devotee association, we should see, are my services pleasing to the devotees or not? Are my services pleasing to Guru, to the spiritual master or not? Are my services pleasing to the senior devotees or not? And that's what very important, to ask a question, to perform Shuddha Bhakti. And when seniors are pleased, when the spiritual master is pleased, just a prasada, why prasada? We actually feel the Atma Sukha Siddhati in our life. When we live life according to the, and it's not that spiritual master, sometimes person may not be with the spiritual master. But if we live our life according to the words of the spiritual master, thinking if I do this, my Guru will be pleased, the Paramatma, who is a Chaitya Guru, he receives it. So the consciousness is very, very important. But false ego gets purified when we do our bhakti under senior devotees. Then only false ego gets purified. But this false ego can make us feel this is pleasing, but it may not be pleasing. The false ego can do, and therefore, when you do bhakti under the guidance of the senior devotees, then we actually can do Shuddha Bhakti. And in Shuddha Bhakti, there are great emotions for Krishna. In a practice stage, person's motivations are pure. But as this motivation becomes more and more pure, person develops a great kind of emotions for Krishna. There, a great desire to please Krishna. And he's very attractive. Krishna attracts the heart of the devotee who is performing pure devotional service. So I'll show you some PPT on the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's a grandson. He could have thought, okay, why to take Panga with Vishal on that? But no, he's against Krishna, I have to give you a lesson. And he had that position. So he took this. For anything, all he did was the service of Shri Krishna. So I'll not go from the beginning, this PPT, I'll just take some of the, some I already discussed. Yeah, he's preaching. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also took 2 years leave from his job to preach. So we need full-time devotees of preaching. And that was his major preaching time. He established many Namatas. And that's why he wanted his son to be a sannyasi, who can be full-time for preaching. So it took so much time to get his PR there. Bhakti Mandal. In Jagannath Puri, he set up the Srimad Bhagavatam discourses were and the first printing press. Though he got initiation from Vipin Bihari Goswami, who was coming from the Andhra family. But his Siksha Guru was Jagannath. And that's why we don't put Vipin Das Bihari's photo, we put only Jagannath, because ours is Siksha Parampara. So Siksha is more important than Diksha. Then Siksha is more important than Diksha in Gaudiya. So Diksha is also important, and Diksha Guru also is one Siksha Guru. There. But Siksha is very important when we take Siksha. He wrote hundreds of authorized spiritual books. Harinam Chintamani, Prem Pradipam, Krishna Samhita, Mana Siksha, Jayavadava. This first printing press at Bhakti Bhavan, a house brought in Kolkata, where daily worship of Sri Giridhar was started. A very huge printing press. And later on, Bhaktivinoda Thakur made this Bharat Mataka, established many places. So on this envisioned point, Bhaktivinoda Thakur only predicted 1896 the personality who will preach all over the world. And that is the Prabhupada. So he came 7 Mahaprabhu came, you have a great seva. And at the time he informed you people. So when I go to Vrindavan Dham, sorry, Mayapur Dham, you will see that. His house. No, he took an office and stayed there at Krishna and established Brahmanta there. Okay, many Brahmanas lecturing and reading some Vaishnava books. Vaishnava, which Vaishnava Sabha established. And this Shishi Kumar Bose said, I have not seen 6 Goswamis, but I know you have the 7 Goswamis. You are the 7 Goswamis. He introduced a Chaitanya Abda, Chaitanya Pandika calendar. So Ghosti broke. Yeah, engaged Bhagavatam, Bishop Singh. The same Bishop Singh last Leela. Then finally Bishop Singh. And that's what he said. Let us all die, but this rascal must be punished. Now, one time, Raghunath Babaji, he was doubting Kedarnath, as he did not wear Kanti Mala of Kedarnath. And he avoided Vaishnavas to avoid Kedarnath's association. But what happened? He contracted a deadly illness, and Raghunath came in a dream. If you don't beg forgiveness for Kedarnath, you will die. And there was a Charandas Babaji Maharaj who introduced Nitai God, Adesham, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram. Yesterday you will see this Kirtan going in Haridas Sagar Samadhi in Jagannath Puri. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur warned him, don't do all this. He didn't hear much. Then after 6 months, he went mad and died. Then Raja of Puri, 80,000 rupees. There. Then William Douglas asked for forgiveness. And Bhakti Puti, he passed. Right? I just talked Bhaktivinoda Thakur's daily schedule. And he predicted very soon the chanting Harinam Sangeeta will spread all over the world. When that day come, people from America, England, France, Germany take up Kirtan and chant Hare Krishna temples. When will that day come? When fair-skinned foreigners will come to Srinagar and join the Bengali Vaishnavas to chant Jai Satchidanand. And that happened. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur had predicted 100 years before. It happened to him there. What is schedule? 8 p.m. take rest. This looks nice, right? 8 p.m. taking rest. But what comes next? 10 p.m. rise and start writing. Then 4 a.m. stop writing and take rest for half an hour. 4:30 rise and chant. Japa. 7 a.m. write letters. 7:30 a.m. study shastras. 8:30 receive rest. 10:30 to read. 9:30 take some rest. Half an hour rest. 9:45 rise, bath and take prasadam. 9:55 go to court. 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. court duties. Then 1 to return to home. And 2 p.m. return to court till 5 p.m. And then till 5 to 7 return home and transfer substitute to person. So practically you can see he slept only 3 hours. 3 hours sleeping. Japa study 4.5 hours. Work 6 hours. And write 8.5 hours. That's the life of Bhaktivinoda. Of course, devotees can't imitate this. Devotee needs 6 hours rest. But with 6 hours rest, we should utilize our time very wisely. If you see, a lot of time gets lost in WhatsApp, social media, this YouTube video, that YouTube video. So, if you are very focused, like for example, the many devotees have come for the morning program, right? Our Abdul Dimai Prabhu and Mataji come for morning program practically every day. Suresh Prabhu has taken the 21 days challenge. They come to morning program. And many devotees came because of holiday, Bishop Prabhu, Shinana Prabhu, and Mataji's Vaishnavi there. So you have taken that holiday. Now just think, if you don't have come here, where the time would have come. Something sleeping, something bodily need, only time would have gone. Or some unnecessary phone call would have come and your mind would have traveled for half an hour, 1 hour. But because it gave that time to Krishna, now others, whatever you would have done materially, this time Krishna would have settled with it. And that's the amazing thing. So what lesson we can learn from the life of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? One of the qualities of a Madhyamadika is Avsar Kalatvam. He doesn't waste a single moment of time. He wants to utilize every moment of time in devotional service to Krishna. So as brahmacharis, as working boys, or as grahasthas, we all have limited 24 hours. But we should see whatever duties are allotted to us, we should give time. But apart now, Bhaktivinoda Thakur raising 10 children, being a district magistrate, how much time is given? Just think about it. Now, we may not sleep 3 hours, we are not that liquid. But with sleeping 6 hours, we should not sleep at least more than 6 hours. Like Papa said, if somebody sleeps more than 6 hours, is in mode of ignorance. 6 to 7 hours. And we should limit our sleep and try to follow morning program and do our sadhana night sleep. Whatever time is, whatever situation Krishna has kept us, we should do it nicely. And whatever household duties also are there, one should do them more, it will please Krishna. So ideally, a Grahastha also should see his family as a part and parcel of Krishna and then serve. Okay, Krishna has given me these children. So if I serve them in a way that they become good devotees, it is Krishna will be pleased. Same way, mother is saying, if I raise children, give time, so they are also part and parcel of Krishna. If I take care of them, Krishna will be pleased. So to the degree we see our duties in connection with Krishna, they also become a part of devotional service. And we don't do extra in them. Only when we are too attached, we go extra in doing the duties and our time for devotional service is taken away. On the other side, we don't see them connection with Krishna, we will neglect our duties and give more time to Krishna consciousness. And later, Lavant carry this problem. But when you see your family duties as a part of Krishna consciousness, that Krishna will be pleased, then you know how much optimum time to give to those duties. So the whole point is that one should, so why I spoke this topic, especially with light of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that he being a Grahastha, father of 10 children, his whole focus is how to please Krishna. Being a Nitya Siddha is natural for him. But we can learn from the life of such great souls, our acharyas, how we should know in our life that we have one single wisdom by doing the duties of this world, what will make Krishna pleased. And this may mean differently in different situations. Right? This will mean different and different situation. If somebody's wife is not a non-devotee, then to deal with him little differently may be pleasing to Krishna, not agitate her too much. Right there. So at a different situation, you have to act in a different way and keep utilizing the time of Kalat and use everything in Krishna's service. That my every moment is Krishna conscious. And then slowly a time will come where Krishna will give more time. Because after 55, 60 people naturally retire there. And then Krishna will give more time where you can use that time fully into Krishna's service there. You will live the current. Same way, brahmacharis also should utilize their time very seriously. If they don't utilize their time in direct Krishna consciousness, then the taste will not build up. Then after 50, 55, they will also think, "Arey, कि हम पूरे time survive कर पाएंगे ऐसे करके." Same way, those who want to join ashram also, they should also utilize their time very seriously. Those who want to get married also should utilize their time very seriously. So this principle of Avrit Kalatvam is for everybody if you want to relish pure devotional service and want to attain a stage of pure devotional service. So I end over here. I extended because of holiday today. How many of you have office today? Okay. Oh, you have office today. I'm sorry. There. Okay. So any questions? Yes.
Prabhu, just one question was consciously put effort to please Krishna. We need to put consciously to please Krishna effort, right? So in every activity. So just maybe an example of like every activity, how do we cross-check that this is pleasing Krishna?
So we should see, is this activity favorable to my devotional service or not? For example, watching a movie is favorable to Krishna consciousness or not? Not. Right. So it is not pleasing to Krishna. So you should find out whether this activity is favorable for my bhakti or not. That is one of the symptoms of Sharanagati. And if your doubt, ask in a devotee, I'm doing this, is it favorable for my bhakti or unfavorable? And at different level that changes. For a new devotee to overrate is favorable. But for a devotee to spend years overrate is not favorable. Get a point. So at different times, for new devotees to eat in Govindas is favorable. For devotees to spend some time eating Govindas is not favorable. Because we are supposed to control our tongue and follow NOI, isn't it? Okay. So at different stages, different things are favorable and different things are unfavorable. And we should inquire, Sadharma Prachar. Is this favorable or not? And then decide whether this is pleasing to Krishna or not. Okay, so I think we have. If anybody getting paid in the office, the prasad, because it's fasting in home, but devotees have made prasadam packets, so you can take prasadam. But I think questions here. Should we have Pushpanjali now or afternoon? 12 o'clock. So 12 o'clock, if anyone else is there, 12 o'clock, we have Pushpanjali to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhakti. Those yoga devotees who don't have homes. And devotees fathers are there, somebody wants to offer also Bhaktivinoda Thakur, they can go.
You were saying that when we perform devotional service under the three modes, then or under the influence of policy, then that will be something like traits with audience.
Especially when it's done with false ego. Because what will happen, because of the false ego, will commit aparadha. And he says, Lord Kapila, that you worship me but often other living entities, I don't like that devotion service. Many other verses. In that sense.
Yes, so sometimes, even with utmost sincerity, the conditioning will be so strong that the thoughts inevitable.
No problem.
Then Krishna is not even like this. So then my point is that does not gel with the definition of Krishna that is qualified. Bhagavan means he takes away the sweetness of the thought.
No. Bhagavan means he take your intentions. He take your intention to please him and also intention of false ego. Both he takes. Bhagavan doesn't mean he takes with intention. He sees both intentions.
So when we are sincerely trying to make an offer to Krishna, but the conditioning contaminates. Because we are not under the thought of
Therefore, we don't offer it directly to Krishna. We offer it to Acharyas. Then Krishna accepts it. Directly who's offering Krishna will accept? Who doesn't have thorns of false. It's very sweet for Krishna. His associates. And for us, we don't directly offer to Krishna. We offer it through Guru. Because Guru removes those thoughts and offer pure spiritual expression. So you should understand, because of those thorns, we are not eligible to directly serve Krishna. So it always go through Guru Paramita. Then Krishna will take sweet life.
you mentioned about devotional passion and the goals of the discussion what will be done from the behavior of devotion?
Even you chastise unnecessarily, you take a humble position. You don't regret. Even you chastise for a no mistake, still you take a humble position like Jiva Goswami. And that's why Jiva Goswami is glorified.
But is there is like a kind of blind following that is
No, you follow after putting all logic away. But when you're chastised, don't take your false ego very seriously. Maybe we would have done some mistake in the past where we did not get any reaction. Then today we didn't do any mistake and some chastisement is coming. So take it as Krishna's mercy. It's not blind following. It is spiritual advancement.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class. After you mentioned about Russian practice, we cover Western practice, thinking that I become mistakes. And that's where even we come to so once I that I next moment something functional logic that is there.
This again, meditate on Bhaktivinoda Thakur regularly. See, it's not bad to see our today's state. You should see your 20 years back state. And then not become self-righteous. Only when we see ourselves as today's state, we see ourselves self-righteous. But you know, my 15 years back, how I was, what all things I have done, what kind of person he is. Now also how many devotees I purify. So we will not feel self-righteous. And that contemplation should go on a daily basis. Okay. So, and here, Bhagavatam ki Bhagavatam Thakur.